I just did a video on my home theater, and I decided, since I had the video camera, might as well show how everything's connected, what I call my data center, and how I store all the movies. One of the problems today that we're having is, these Blu-ray movies are sometimes 16 gigs worth of data, and how do you store that? So what I chose, and I'll show you, is a Drobo Pro, so that I could expand my capacity as needed. And for any reason I would lose a hard disk, I wouldn't lose all my movies. That was a big concern for me. So, and sold the wife on this idea because it's not a cheap solution, but you can also use it to store all your pictures, important files, anything, right? Tax documents. I just purchased this home, so all my mortgage information. So let me show you it. So this is my basement. I had some network cables run. Same company which I showed you upstairs that ran all the cables for the speakers and mounted my TV. Come nicely down right to this block with the power outlet. And I had them run 2 Cat 5e cables. This is for my home theater PC, TV in the family room, and then my home office, so I can run gigabit. They go right in here to what I call my access switch. My D-Link, I got the D-Link green. See if you can see that. Nah. Green Ethernet. Basically, it shuts off the ports that aren't being in use over here. Everything else plugged in. And then I have an uplink that goes into my D-Link router. It's the DGL 4300. I think that's one of the best. It supports a lot of TCP connections for doing things like downloading content, if you will, on the internet. You need a lot of TCP connections, and I have business class service, so I can do my job. Right here you have my router, then you have my NetScreen firewall, my Blue Coat proxies, and my packet shaper. And I have a monitor here. This is for my VMware server sitting below. It's ESXi 4.0. I just migrated to that recently, so I can run VMware images for my Ubuntu, Windows images. And then here is the Drobo. So, it's the Drobo Pro. Really nice looking. You can see I have every disk filled by the green lights indicated here. So you have 8, and then over here on this side you have 10 blue lights, and it's showing 4, so I'm using 1/4 of my capacity. Open that up. You can see in there, not all those hard drives are the same. That's one of the things I liked about the Drobo. If you have drives just laying around, as long as they're SATA, you dump them in there and the Drobo figures it out. So I don't know the exact configuration, but this one here, I think the first 2 here are terabyte disks, and then you have like a 250, I have a 500, so on and so forth. I have a total capacity of about 5 terabytes, and I have about 3 terabytes of that filled, or actually, if I count out the 4, I just deleted a bunch of data, a bunch of shows I don't watch anymore. So, nice little cover. It's actually magnetic. It clips on here. Very nice. Yeah, and it's all gigabit iSCSI. I have my upstairs, my home office computer just connects up to it via a simple program. Drobo, you just download it from their website. You put an IP address on it, and it's full gigabit. The transfer rates aren't going to be as fast as something like eSATA and some of the other products out on the market, but I just like the flexibility of this one. Just being able to put in drives as I need them for any size, and the Drobo figures it out. The hardest really thing you have to decide is, do you want a 2-disk or 1-disk failure support, so for redundancy. And I chose 1-disk because it's self-healing. Since I don't have, it doesn't have all the data filled up on it, as soon as you lose 1 disk, it will automatically get into a recovery state. So if I lost 1, I'm down to 7, it would get into a recovery state, so if I lost another disk, I would be protected. So as long as I get that disk replaced, I'm good to go. And here I have battery backup. When I have Vonage, if the power goes out, I want my internet to be up so I can still make a phone call. And I have battery backup on the upstairs PCs as well. So that's the data center in the basement here. You can see it.